You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Castle After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Castle After Show.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to AfterBuzz TV for another after show for Castle. It was episode 17 from season 6, and it was called In the Belly of the Beast. I'm your host, Paige Sullivan, joined by my lovely co-host.
Hi, everyone. I'm Tiona Hobson. I'm like
busy grooving.
This music's really getting to me today. I love it.
Hi, guys. I'm Kate Aquillano.
And yeah, so we're going to break this down. This was an interesting episode for me.
Loved it.
I love when they bring in Kate's past and like that whole storyline that's gone over all of these seasons.
Yes. I loved how dark it was. Because then they usually have the fun Castle episodes with like the Devil Wears Prada and what like Carrie episode. I like when they get like down and gritty and have this like major cop episode.
Yeah. At one point tonight, I said to Kate, I feel like I'm watching a cop show.
Yeah, like an actual cop show.
Like an actual cop show.
It was really good.
It was dark. It was good. You know, I was on the edge of my seat. Like, what's going to happen next? How's Kate going to get out of this? Because clearly she's not going to die.
Yeah, no, obviously.
She's going to be okay.
She's going to be okay. But how's she going to get out of this one?
I loved this whole episode. We'll break it down, I guess, from the beginning. I was kind of thinking, because I didn't see the previews because I watched it online, so I never saw the previews for this week, so I had no idea what I was going into. And I saw this beginning, and I was like, oh, this is going to be like one of those fun episodes. Like, they have the day off. Maybe they'll get into, like, some kind of trouble. No. So Kate gets called in, and it's the narcotics division, and they kind of want her to go undercover. One, I think it's insane that they're asking her to go undercover with no information.
Yep.
And I think it's because they don't want to blow their whole mission, because... Which we found out they royally screwed up anyways, like the whole situation. But the fact that they're willing to just take somebody who's not from their division and like use them as like, you know.
Yeah,
like
so there's
2 hours notice. That makes no sense, and I don't think it would ever happen.
Like they don't care what happens to her.
But there's this like drug ring, and there's all these murders, and they have no idea who the head of this thing is, and they feel like this is their one chance to figure out something. And that's why they're like, you're the only one that looks like this girl and speaks Russian, so you have to go. You have 2 hours.
Right, and so they say it's a new drug ring. There's 6 people who have been killed, and they were just kind of drug dealers, and that they have this girl, Elena Markov, who is a mail-order bride from Russia. Sounds so innocent, this girl, right? And that she somehow landed into picking up drugs.
She needed to make some money, and she just called a phone number.
And then somehow she ends up with the police, you know, and she's telling them this whole thing. But she was going to go undercover technically for that. Not undercover, but there was this meeting that was going to happen. And then she tries to kill herself and ends up in the hospital. So now they have Kate, and Kate's going undercover. I loved how Gates stuck up for her, though. At that one point, she's like, this is not your job.
I love that Gates even said, you know, if you don't want to do this, you can say no, I'll take the heat.
Yeah.
That's what a captain's there for. And
yeah,
it's really
I think
great
that their
she said
relationship has really grown over the last season and this season.
And I think it's just so funny when she walks in and Ryan and Esposito are like, oh yeah, there's been feds in and out of here all day, and we don't know what's going on, and then she gets to go on to the story, and they're kind of like,
they're outside just looking in. What's going on?
Like, I guess they don't need us, but they don't know the details, obviously, and they probably wouldn't have wanted to be Kate in this situation. But so basically, they want Kate to go to this hotel, and she's supposed to meet whoever it is, and they're going to try and bust it. And so there's like all these cops in the hotel, and the way they're going to know who she is she's going to wear a red scarf. And
I would have worn like a huge red scarf. It was like tucked in her jacket. It had some black in it, and I was like,
yeah, it wasn't just red. Like
red.
Yeah, just red.
Stick to the script.
Yeah.
That's clue number 1 that they know you're not the real person.
Exactly.
You didn't follow directions.
And this whole time, this whole entire time through this show, she would say and do things, and I'd be like, no. Don't do that. Like when she's like, well, I need to see the boss. And I'm like, no.
Yeah, but even the way she walked, we're like, she's walking like a cop. Stop walking that way.
Too much authority. She had way too much authority. But so there's 5 officers in the lobby. She's on the 11th floor. They give her the room number. And I knew the second she got in that elevator that the bellman was going to abduct her.
Yeah.
She said it. She knew.
Yeah, just the way he looked, it was kind of like, oh.
What floor? 11. I was like, oh, that's him.
Boom, the gun comes out.
Yeah.
She
Guns
gets
out.
kidnapped.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Kate. Yeah, and so she basically gets thrown in the back of this car at gunpoint.
Mm-hmm.
How did he get her off this elevator? I mean,
Trap door.
Sure.
Or
That's
it
what we're
stopped on
gonna-
another floor and they
they
got
must
off.
have stopped on another floor because they can't really monitor that. They can't be like, oh, no other person in the hotel can get on this elevator.
Yeah.
But so Gates is pissed. She's like,
As she should be.
you let her get abducted.
Basically, they didn't do their homework, and this is what happened.
And
And
she-
she knew it.
Yeah.
And I hated that. What was his name? The Captain
narcotics?
Fowler.
Captain Fowler.
I hated that he said we were prepared for a simple meet. You should have been prepared for the worst case scenario.
Always
Prepared for the worst case because nothing's going according to
But
plan.
they
You
had 2
don't have all the
hours.
information.
They had 2 hours.
Yeah, but you should still be prepared for everything to go
Agreed.
wrong and for your officer's safety to be the number one priority.
you should have had a tail on her, and so when she went into the elevator,
Somebody
it was
else
just like
also went in.
another guest
Yeah.
went into the elevator too.
Exactly. But they did not. And so now Gates has recruited Ryan and Esposito to help her out. She's
Yeah.
basically like, okay, we need you.
There's a situation here, guys.
Situation. But so Kate's just like sitting in the back talking to herself. What it seems like she's talking to herself. And so we have what looks like a camera like watching her. Maybe you shouldn't be
That's
talking.
what I'm like. Can
because-
they hear her speaking? Like, I'm Detective Kate Beckett. I'm like, they might be able to hear you.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, dumb.
Yeah,
dumb.
because I mean, he definitely could talk to her.
Right.
So
Like smart in the way that you're like, I think we're going east, da 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 da. But like dumb in the way like you see that camera. Like,
Right.
And the measures they took to just get you in the first place, like they're
They're
taking
not
serious
messing
precautions.
around. Exactly.
No. But so they get where they're going, and she luckily gets rid of her wire before he checks her out.
Which you don't really see. She's like, I got to get rid of this. And the next thing you know, the wire's going up, and I think it's going to beep when it gets to the button. And she, like,
But you know, there was a
Stepped
lot
on
of
it?
things like that this episode that Kate miraculously was able to pull off. I was like, does she have vampire speed?
Yeah,
She's
what, in that
she's
room with the
moving around.
phone?
Yeah, with the phone, and then
Gosh.
and the bathroom with the other phone. I was just like, how is she
She's
doing
that
this?
good.
She's a vampire.
Yeah, no, she's got
Maybe.
like spidey sense, like she hears
Yeah.
them coming. I don't get it. But so this guy, what was his name again? The blonde.
Oh, his name was
Hartman.
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 Harton.
Harton.
I don't know.
I wrote Harding. I didn't know.
Something with an
I put
H.
Hartman.
Okay, we're
Or
gonna
maybe
call him,
Hardman.
we'll call him Hardman. It's a good combination of all.
He was the creepy blonde guy.
So he's like, what makes you so special? And he like throws a bag over her head though, and he's like sitting there and basically like it seems like he's jealous of her. He's like, why do they want to see you?
Well, basically, because then we find out she's like getting a promotion, and he's probably jealous of the promotion. But he knew from the beginning something was a little bit off.
Yeah. And so we meet with this guy, and so I just called him Guy in Glasses at the beginning because he didn't introduce himself. But they're speaking in Russian to each other, which I liked hearing Kate speak in
yeah.
Russian. I really liked
I wanted
that.
more Russian out of her this episode. I was
Me
kind
too.
of expecting it.
Yeah, no, I really liked it. But so basically, Mr. Jones and her are talking, and it's just they're offering her a permanent position where she's going to get $50,000 a week.
Thank you.
You're like, I'll do it. What do I have to do?
Who am I killing?
Yeah.
50 G's a week.
We'll
Sure.
do it.
No
We'll do
taxes
it.
on that?
But see, she's smart. She's like, I'll do it if I can meet Lazarus. So if she can get a face-to-face with the boss.
But at this point, she has no idea basically what she does, what Elena Markov does,
No.
is kill people. Like, she
Yeah.
literally went in there blind. She has no
No
idea.
idea.
Thinking she's just a drug dealer. Like, oh. I'm
she just carries packages.
Carrying
I mean, how much
packages.
trouble can you get in?
Yeah, and so he says he'll pass along the message to Lazarus, but she's going to have to stay there until he gets
Which,
it.
at that point, too, it's like, I mean, you can say, I want to meet Lazarus, who they actually present you to. You don't know if that's actually Lazarus
Exactly.
or not. It's probably not going to be Lazarus.
Right.
But
And
you're getting closer and closer.
she is. And so, but then that's when the blonde guy and Mr. Jones go out in the hallway, and she does that sneaky thing with the phone and calls Espo. And it's just like, she automatically knows, she's like, Elena's lying. And this is what's, like,
Yeah.
okay.
Elena
that
isn't
was
who
really
she says
quick.
she is.
Yeah.
I feel like because of the nature of the deal that he had just proposed to her,
She realized.
she's realizing, oh, wait.
They're not
this-
paying her 50
Yeah,
grand
this
to
chick
move a
clearly-
package.
was doing a lot more than she let on for this
Right.
organization.
So she still she doesn't know that she's an assassin
But
yet.
she knows there's something
Something's
more.
up.
And so luckily, though, that leads them to the fact that Elena's not who she says she is. But she, she literally hangs up that phone and gets to the middle of the room in like 10 seconds flat.
And
It
isn't out of breath.
stressed me
Less.
out. It really stressed me out. I hate scenes like that.
I know. You know she's going to be
You
fine,
know.
but you're like, how?
Get back in the
telling
center
you.
of the room.
I watch a lot of vampire TV shows, and that's the only way you can get from point A to point B that fast without being noticed.
Well, if Castle knew what she was doing, he'd probably say the same thing.
He'd have that theory.
He would.
Yes, he would.
But so Castle, this is when Castle shows up at the precinct, and this is when it's like really bad, you know.
Yeah.
And everybody's really nervous and concerned, and he shows up and he's like, "What? Where's Kate?"
Happening.
I feel so bad. Could you imagine knowing that your fiance is basically in the middle of this drug ring and probably going to be killed, and you can't do
And
like
you can't
anything?
do anything. That's the problem that he
There's
has the
nothing.
most problem with, is that he can't do anything to
Yeah.
help the situation.
Nothing, not one thing.
It's sad.
It's really sad, and I loved her letter, and this is something that Kate and I kind of talked about during the episode, was that Castle and Beckett still refer to each other as Castle and Beckett. They haven't switched to
She said
using
Rick.
the first
like
name
every
in the
once in a
letter.
while, but it's all
Yeah. And then in the letter, you hear Rick
Rick.
and you hear Babe and all these like terms of endearment from her that I loved hearing.
yeah,
because,
it's a different side.
yeah,
of
because
her.
I mean, when Castle's at home with his mom, he's like, I haven't heard from Beckett.
Yeah.
All evening.
Right.
She's supposed to
They
be
all
here for
refer-
dinner. Yeah, and I was like, it's so stiff when you say Beckett. I mean,
It's your fiance.
yeah, it's your fiance. I haven't heard from Kate. Like,
Yeah.
where's the loving side of it?
The only person who really does call her Kate is Martha, though. She always calls
Yeah.
her Kate. Or
Catherine.
Catherine.
Yeah.
But, even Alexa, she's like, oh, Alexis. She's like, oh, where's Beckett?
Beckett.
She doesn't,
Yeah.
none of them
And
say
I get
Kate.
it. That's, how their relationship was for so long that it's hard to make that
Switch
switch.
it up.
But, when you have a nickname so often, like I have a nickname, and when people actually use my full first name, it
You're
like
like-
touches my heart.
You're
I'm
like,
like,
oh, you love me.
Oh, you took the time to actually say my full name. Thank you. You're not being
Aw.
lazy about it.
My name's
So
so short, I don't have any nicknames.
Yeah, I don't have any nicknames either.
I just want her and him to both start using the first names.
Well, I think
We'll see.
they probably do in more intimate situations, and we just don't get enough of those,
Yeah.
which we would like more of. But I loved that. Like, I was like, why is she pricking her finger?
I know. I was like, what is happening? And then she see it on the grate, and you're just like, what is going on?
She's like, if I die, they'll find my blood, then they'll find
And the letter.
your letter. But
I thought she was gonna write the letter in her blood.
I did too.
So
I
was
did
like,
too.
Oh,
She
she's
couldn't
doing
find
it
a
so
pen.
she can write a letter in her blood.
Well, because she started talking, like
Yeah.
saying the letter as she was pricking her finger. But then I was like, that seems. And
That's
then,
a little intense.
The next scene, she has a pen, and you're like, oh.
Oh.
But that was very clever. Like, if I were thrown into these situations, I would not think like, oh, maybe I should leave like a hint that I'm here.
She's
No.
trained. She keeps
trained.
calm.
Yeah, but so she rubs her blood everywhere, hides a letter in the vent. I wonder if we're ever gonna they've ever got that letter back.
Yeah.
That'd be fun later in 3
For him
seasons.
to find it, yeah.
There's like a murder at that place, and they find it or something.
But
Yeah,
didn't the team already go check out that
yeah,
whole
and they
house?
said there's nothing there, but I doubt they looked. Well, they probably did look in the grate
'Cause
since
they're
it was
supposed
a
to
money
look for
laundering.
blood.
Yeah,
Maybe they already
Maybe they didn't
found
do
it.
their job.
yeah, they
Very
didn't
well.
find the letter
Jeez.
unless Kate went back up there and she's like, no, I got this vent, I got
I
this
got
one.
this one.
I can do it. But she was so sweet, the things she was saying to him,
Mhm.
which I loved. I love seeing her vulnerable side.
Yeah, because we don't see it that often.
No, and Castle for a long time was, hesitant to show how much he loved Kate, but he's very vocal about
Yeah.
things, and she's less so. So I really liked that. But in the midst of a horrible situation. But so she's driven to this house, and it's her next target. She has to complete this task before she's allowed to meet Lazarus.
Right.
So basically, what she has to do is kill this guy. We don't know who he is, why he's being killed. She's asking a lot of questions.
Yeah, Hardin is not happy about all the questions she's asking. And
No.
she's like, he's like, just do what you do. And she's like, this is sloppy. Like, it's called recon for a reason.
Yeah.
And he's like, are you going to do it or what? Because
Yeah.
he's so suspicious. He's like, I don't know if this girl's legit.
Yeah, and
Like,
then she
prove
does
it to me.
She does
Does
it.
it.
That's it.
Quote unquote. I love that's another situation like vampire. Like, how fast were you?
No, she
Yeah,
that you did this.
Went to the kitchen, got the ketchup, came and made it look
And
like a
prune
murder
juice or
scene.
something, wasn't
Yeah.
it? Like,
But you had a good theory. I liked your theory.
well, because Hardman or whatever we're calling him, he was very suspicious, wanted to see the body,
She knew.
and I think what set him off was because she shot him through the glass because there was bullet holes through the glass. But the way that his body was positioned and the blood was splattered, it's not possible that she killed him.
He should have fell
because
backward.
he should have fell backwards,
not forward.
Because even if his back was to her and he was shot, it still would have been forward the other way. And that's the only way he would have been on his face forward, was for him to be facing the wall where all the blood was over there.
Why didn't he make a
Not
bigger
for
stink
him.
about it, though?
I thought he was going to make a bigger
I think he's
stick
just
about
like
it.
taking mental note, and then we'll see what happens.
Because he already got shot down earlier with this theory about, she was scared. She didn't really seem to know what she was here for.
Right.
I think he was holding on to it, but I kind of wanted him to make a bigger fuss over that because it's something that I noticed, and I was like, whoa, I watch way too many crime shows
whoa,
to know that.
we're getting really good at this.
But he also seems kind of, this sounds mean to his character, but like dumb. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he's that guy who's like the brute, like go pick this girl up, go do this. Like I don't think he's
not
given a lot of responsibility outside of what he did with Kate.
Yeah.
And so, logistically speaking, he probably doesn't know the details of what would go down in a hit.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true. Good point.
He might not. I mean, maybe he does.
Maybe
Who
he does.
knows?
I just feel like, I would know which way the body should have
Should
fallen.
fall, and so should she. But she was
I mean,
so
I guess
hectic.
if he got
that
shot in the chest and was like leaned forward, he could
could
go
happen.
forward
Yeah.
front ways. But just like in the moment, you think that like a gunshot would
That
kind of
way.
like take you.
Unless he
back.
had like forward movement, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? And it was just, but yeah, I mean, I don't know.
But like he
Then-
kind of like hesitated, like looking at the scene. So
Yeah, he did.
that's why
Yeah.
it was kind of like, did he notice
Did he
something
notice
was
that
off?
something was off?
But yeah,
Then we bring this guy into the precinct, and basically he's just a corporate lawyer.
yeah.
And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I don't know.
why.
So,
Strange.
thanks for being so helpful.
Right, no. But I noticed, so as that's happening, Kate's being driven back, and you can see that she sees the address.
The address.
And then she's taken in, and she goes basically back up to her room, and she's washing her face off before she can meet Lazarus. And this drunk girl, or not drunk, I think she's a hooker, right? I mean,
Hey,
She was really excited, and she really had to pee.
yeah, she had to pee. She's like, oh, they pay well, da 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 da. And she takes her phone, and she's trying to, like, text. And then, so she's taken into the basement. Like, if anybody was like, oh, he's down here, I'd be like, mm-mm.
Yeah.
Like
no.
deep basement,
I'd be
like
like, I don't go in basements.
Dungeon
like
to nowhere.
dungeon basement.
Yeah, and she gets down there, and instantly Vulcan Simmons knows it's her. How, and she had to have known the second she walked in
Oh,
that
yeah.
room. She was like,
Yeah.
oh, screw that.
Crap.
She's like, I am done.
Oh crap! Good
He's
thing
like,
I got
"You're-"
this gun in my belt still. Oh wait.
That didn't help.
No, and so I was terrified as they were like doing that water torture with her. Like, her acting in this was insane because
She was good.
but you could see like the pain in her face, and like the struggle she was having. But I was just sitting there thinking like, oh, I would have cracked like the first time. The first time I would have cracked.
But like the thing is, he was asking like what they knew about Lazarus, and the thing is, they don't really know anything.
Yeah, well, he's like, what's your mission? And she doesn't say anything. And then I love how he's like, I'll do like crazy things to you, or whatever he said, indescribable things to you. And then she's like, I'll do indescribable things to you.
So tough.
I love
Yeah.
when people still have the balls to,
But I
talk
hate
tough like that.
I hate how he was saying so much about her mom, and I think that's what fueled her.
Oh, yeah.
Like, as much as she
No.
says at the end of the episode that Castle got her through, I think the idea of
Oh,
the fact
yeah.
that these people took her mother down, she's not going to let them take her
Yeah,
down.
she's gonna get out of this, and she's gonna bring them to justice because
Oh,
that's
yeah.
been her mission the whole time.
Mhm. That's why she became a detective. I mean,
Right.
that's why she's done everything in her entire life.
Yeah.
But so basically, they find out at the precinct basically the area where she is. They can't really get a direct hit where the phone is. It's not registered to anyone. And so then it basically seems like a lost cause. It's like, okay, well, Kate is in trouble. And I almost thought we were going to have a 2-part episode.
I was hoping for one. I want a 2-parter because this episode was so great and so intense that I kind of want it to continue into next week immediately instead of, the typical like,
It might
we're going to do light and
It'll
fluffy
continue
now.
a
With
little
Senator
bit,
Bracken,
yeah. But
But it won't be an immediate
Yeah.
continuation.
But-
We'll have like 2 or 3 episodes of nothing, and I'll forget that this happened, and then it'll come back to it.
we find out that Elena has woken up from her attempted
Oh,
suicide.
she killed her
and so
officer.
the Espo and Ryan and Fowler go over there, and she has killed the guard and gotten away. And so I'm still wondering, like, how does she play into all of this? Like, why did she go to the cops? Why did she refuse to go to the meet for them? Why did she commit suicide? Why did she kill the guard? Like, I'm still not sure how this is working
And
out.
I'm actually literally just putting it together. Like, I didn't get it. I thought it was just part of the whole scheme, but obviously it was Bracken, like, who was like this
Masterminding this
I want-
whole thing.
Yeah, who wanted Kate involved somehow.
I-
But why would he want to get Kate involved? Like, that's what I don't understand.
So why?
Yeah, like, why?
Because then
So
he...
he's no longer in her debt?
Right. I mean, he went through a lot to kind of... I mean, we'll get to that.
That's a lot of
because-
effort.
Because
So-
if
yeah.
that were the case, in making sure that he's not in her debt, he brought to her attention that this is
That
what's
he's
happening, that his whole
involved.
business and his whole infrastructure for his,
But he may have
campaign
raised
money.
enough money at that point. Like, he may have, like, he had an end goal, like, raise enough money to go
And
for
then
a
he's
presidential
out.
campaign. And then it's like, okay, now let's put that to the side.
And no strings attached.
Yeah. But I liked how right before she did go in, though, to see Vulcan, that she noticed on the checks, like, the name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I wrote down the other name, Manica Management.
I wrote down
Oh.
future forward.
I see. So I like was like, oh, I didn't see that part.
I
like,
wrote down
focused
$50,000. And I was like, yeah.
Tiana's like, money.
Have
But
you
so-
seen did you see all that money in there?
That was insane. And it was taped
I mean,
to the ceilings
taped
and
to
the
the
walls.
yeah.
And
They had a
I
lot.
wish I had a house like that, minus all the violence and illegal activities.
And the naked women laundering
Yeah.
the money. It's fine.
I know.
And they're naked because they want to make sure that you're not stealing
Stealing
any of their
anything.
money.
Which is insane.
So you have to be
Even if
naked when
they
you do
steal
that.
the money, like, what are they stealing? Maybe $100 here and there? Like, you have millions of dollars.
It's not how much you're stealing; it's the principle.
Yeah.
Oh, the principle.
The principle
The
is that you don't steal my money.
These people have such high principles.
Morals, right? I mean, the moral high ground is what they're taking here.
Exactly.
Oh, God.
There's moral high grounds in gangsters.
Sure.
I
But
said
so-
that really, really value girl. There's always
more.
a high quality moral value in gangsters.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, definitely. And so, she passes out basically.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, take her to the woods, bury her, kill her. That's what Vulcan says.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I thought you were supposed to do indescribable things to her. But apparently you don't have the time.
I mean, burying her kind of alive is kind of...
yeah, that's pretty bad.
I mean, that would be pretty bad.
Yeah, her lungs were already suffering, though. I feel like it wouldn't have been
It wouldn't have been good.
No. But so, yeah, so they basically take her to the woods. That guy, like, kicks her down the hill. I want to be like, don't play dirty.
What was the
Yeah.
point of that?
Don't play dirty.
Because now you're like have to run down the
Showing,
hill.
he's just showing
and-
his dominance. He just wants to
Yeah.
be like,
I
ooh,
don't
I was
like you.
right.
Because then he had to chase after her and be like, whoa. Like,
Don't-
just
don't run
engage.
away.
It's like, oh, well, you're the one who just tripped her and sent her down this hill. She was walking just fine, you butthead.
I knew Elena was going to come in.
Did you see?
Yeah,
I
you
thought
did- you
I
did
thought
call
Kate
that.
was gonna do something. Like I thought Kate was gonna just
I
I
like
know.
know.
After the hospital escape,
I was
she
like,
was
she's
like,
gonna
Elena's
go
gonna
over
come
there.
back and she'll be the one to save Kate.
oh really? You
Yeah.
thought? Oh.
But I didn't know why. But I knew she would show up and like kind of like kill all the peeps.
See, I was wondering if she was saving Kate because she felt bad that she got dragged into it, or because what we find out,
It
the
was-
real reason, because Lazarus told her
Yeah.
not to kill her. But I was very confused about that at first. I was like, I don't
What's going on?
understand why you just did that.
Yeah.
Until she said it. But then, they find Kate, Kate goes back to the precinct, whatever, and they find Vulcan in Brooklyn or wherever it was, and everybody's in their respective places.
He has an alibi.
The building's been swept. Everything's
What about,
gone.
Mr. Jones. Did they ever find Mr. Jones?
No, but I bet that's not his real name.
Yeah, probably
And he's probably off somewhere with the money. And, then there was this, like, what they call it, a pact, this political
the
pact.
super
Yeah.
pact.
And basically, the Jason guy was putting money into this, and it was like, that's what the lawyer was for.
Yep.
But there's no way to access it or to
No,
get any
and it's like
information
all
on it.
clean because it's a lot. I mean, we don't know how.
There's
all
some
that
tax
works,
ways to do
but
it.
You can't like
Politics,
it's legal,
yo.
I guess.
Politics.
Legal.
Legal.
Yeah.
And
It's
then
not legal when I try it.
But there was
so.
$160 million like unaccounted for, basically.
Right.
And it was legally laundered. I just wish.
I didn't know that was a real term. I thought
Legally
once you-
laundered.
I think
Moron.
once you had launder in there,
It
it,
was
made it
illegal.
illegal. But
You would think.
apparently there's a legal
In
way
politics,
to do it. Can
they
someone
get away
teach
from
me
a
how
lot
to
of-
legally launder
Yeah.
money
'Cause
to
we'll
increase
do
my
it.
bank account?
We'll do it.
As long as it's legal, then
Why doesn't everyone do it?
yeah, why doesn't everyone?
You
do
know
it?
who's doing it is the writers of Castle, because they clearly know more about it than we do.
We need to do some research.
Seriously, but do you
guys.
ever think about like the research that goes into these episodes? Just like the little pieces. I wonder how long it takes just to put an episode like this
Yeah.
together, because there's so many little details.
Right.
what's a political super PAC? Like, I don't know.
I don't know.
I
don't
hear about
know.
it on CNN all the
Sure.
time.
Do you?
I mean, yeah,
I
you hear
listen
about
to
super
Anderson
PACs and
Cooper.
super groups during like election time.
Yeah, that's true.
But no one ever takes the time to explain what it is.
They
when
assume we
to the
know.
They assume
Yeah.
you know. So then I sit there like, yeah, super PACs,
Awesome.
bad, good, not
Everything.
sure.
Sure.
Depending on which party you're going
Exactly.
to.
It depends on what side you're on.
Exactly. But so basically, we have no connection other than the fact that Kate knows it's Bracken. She's like, I know it's Bracken.
Mm-hmm.
And she even has to explain to Castle why. She's like, I saved his life.
Yeah.
And now he saved mine and we're even.
So the next time we meet,
It's no longer even. Do you remember that time she pistol whipped him? Like, I feel like she's so she's not afraid of Bracken. Like, she's not. Like, it pisses her off. He's so powerful and gets away with everything.
thing.
But she is not scared of him.
I'm just excited to see where this goes. Because, it won't be the sole, theme of the next episode or the next
No.
episode, but it will come back up.
I'm really just fingers crossed. Normally it's a 22 episode season, so we have 5 episodes ish left. Please do not involve Bracken in the wedding. Do not.
Totally getting set up for the wedding,
He
guys.
better not ruin that day for her.
Do not.
I mean, he could ruin the dress,
She's
The
Side
dress,
note.
the
ruin
dress.
the dress.
but don't ruin the day.
She's gonna have to kill Bracken on her wedding day, and she's gonna be like a blood-covered bride.
I'll be so mad. So mad.
I'm wondering how she's going to take him down, because she's going to do it.
But I don't think she's taking him down this season. I think
It's going to
she'll-
continue.
But I think there'll be something happening around the wedding, during that time, whether it's a case, whether it's something between the two of them in private,
Yeah.
like that time they had that run-in in that room when she pistol whipped him, or whatever it is. I think something will happen, and I just don't want it to ruin the wedding. I want
Yeah.
that wedding to be perfect.
But this is going to be so high profile because she watches that news clip and he's basically, I've raised all this money, I'm going to run for president. So, whatever happens with him in the future, it's going to be in the news. It's going to be out there.
And he's gonna have to start being a lot more careful with what he does if he's going for the presidential
Exactly.
election,
Yeah.
because any slip up, is gonna cost him this election. So he's gonna have to start separating himself from the bad people and the bad choices in his life.
But I think he's done a good job of hiding it all. Even with this whole thing, it's he basically had this huge
Yeah.
drug scheme, and there's no ties to him. His
And that's
name's
why-
nowhere near it.
That's why he has Elena, because she just kills everyone that's involved.
involved.
And really, he
That's
has
right.
no
Where
connections.
Mr. Jones is dead. That's
Oh,
what
I'm
Mr.
sure.
Jones is.
I'm
He's
sure
dead.
when she left and killed Hardin in the woods, she went and killed Jones.
Oh, poor guy. Poor Jones. He seemed like a decent.
Don't say good.
He
A
was,
decent.
he was genuinely shocked when Vulcan was like, "No, that's not
He was like,
Elena."
"She's
He's
a
like,
cop?"
"What? She's a cop?"
Oh my
Yeah.
But I made her
goodness.
do all these tests, and what?
Yeah.
I mean,
But
Oh,
doesn't
Mr.
He
Jones.
seemed like that sweet little neighbor. He's like, oh, sure, we'll do that. We just need you to do a couple things, and then.
I'll ask him for you. No worries. Just go up to the bedroom and wait it out. We'll
Right.
get back to you.
And the fact that they let her, I know there was men walking the halls with huge guns, but they just leave her in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, you'll be fine in here. But that
Chill.
other girl could just come and go.
what room was she in? 'Cause,
Was it one of
I
those
mean,
joining bathrooms? Where there's
yeah,
two doors.
But what was happening in her room? Because it seemed a lot more fun. And
Sex, drugs, and rock and
and
roll.
why
I
wasn't
think.
Beckett invited over there?
I don't know.
I mean, I might have gone to explore, but
I know Beckett should have been like,
She had-
you know what? I don't want to meet Lazarus anymore. I want to do.
I want to
Yeah.
What
go
do
with
what
her.
that girl in the party dress is doing.
yeah. Can I just?
That girl.
That would be
That's
a
so
great girl.
Beckett. So, yeah.
Yeah, she definitely would have done that.
She wants the
Next time
party.
she's there, she'll do that. All right, guys, that's basically the episode. Is there anything else you guys wanted to talk about?
No.
Sure, we don't have to do the news and gossip intro, but I did get to talk to John Huertas on the red carpet
Oh, cool.
2 weeks ago. I wasn't here last week, but he did say we're gonna get more personal with the characters.
I like it.
Because I was asking him, I was like, so can we learn more about you? About your character? I want to know. And he was like, no, you will. There's a storyline coming up that he's excited about, so we'll have to keep our eyes out for
Ooh,
that.
I like that.
hey.
Yeah, and he's so nice. The whole cast on this show are the nicest people, and they also took part in the Slates for Sarah movement
Oh,
that was
wow,
going on.
that's
So
good.
if you follow them on Twitter, you would have seen that. I think it was Stana, Seamus, and John were in the picture.
Awesome.
So you can
Way
probably
to go, guys.
Yeah, you can find it on Slates for Sarah, or you can find it on Twitter or wherever.
Right.
And if you don't know what it is, I recommend you
Google
look
it.
into it.
Google it.
Google it. So yeah, but anyways, we'll get into predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Any serious predictions?
I mean, I kind of already said mine. I want to see where this Bracken thing goes. And like I always say, wedding.
Wedding.
And Alexis' involvement in the wedding.
Oh, I wanted her to ask, like 2 episodes ago, when they went to lunch, and I know they talked about the apartment and stuff. I wanted her to ask her to like be a bridesmaid. Like I want that to happen.
That'd be
needs
fun.
to happen.
Yeah.
Or the flower girl. I don't know.
the flower
I'm all about. I want to be an adult flower girl
You sound
so
like my
bad.
sister.
So I'm all for.
She got robbed as a child, so now she feels like as an adult.
Being a I was a flower girl. It's not that exciting.
I was too. I just got outstaged by a younger flower girl, and so I want another shot at the limelight.
Okay.
Yeah, redemption.
All right.
But I want wedding stuff. I want more intimacy. Like I'd like to see Castle and Beckett, kind of actually get a day off.
Like an episode where there's no murder.
Yeah, there's no murder,
that
or
will never happen.
or like they're maybe enjoying their day and something happens and they stumble. I don't know. I just want to see them hanging out together and living life like a normal couple.
I know we never get that, but it would be nice, especially with this whole wedding thing coming up. Maybe like just a day full of event planning, like tasting the cake and going to the venue, like whatever it is.
That's true. You only see them like in a non-work setting at the house.
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning and the end, yeah. Like take her to dinner.
Yeah.
Stop drinking so much wine at home.
Go to like a event when he's like a book signing. Go.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Go on a double date with some of Castle's like friends.
And he's she has to be like a trophy wife. I mean, she is hot.
Yeah.
And he's older. And I'm sure he would love to go out to like a fancy restaurant.
Yes,
and like,
girl.
woo!
Flaunt her.
I
I mean,
know.
now that she put it out there in public, because at first it was all hidden and stuff. But now that it's out there, page 6, like, go out
Do
to
it.
the
Take advantage.
paparazzi-filled restaurant with your other high-profile couple friends, and
Exactly.
I'd love to see
Have
Kate
some
in that
fun.
situation.
I would love to see how she acts.
Yeah, how she acts
out
in
of her
that.
element, where she's not really in control of the
Right,
situation.
exactly.
Yeah, I would love to see that. As I said, I think my biggest prediction is that Bracken is going to come back and somehow be involved in a negative way during the whole wedding episodes. I think that's going to be a 2-episode arc anyways, the wedding. And I foresee that maybe being a problem in the first episode, and maybe the second episode would be like just the wedding.
Yeah. Oh, and I want to see Ryan's baby.
Oh, yeah. Come on, baby.
Where's the baby?
Jenny and the baby, please.
We had to hear about it forever, so now I want to see.
I want to see the
thing.
baby.
We want to see the baby.
I just called the baby a thing. I'm sorry.
The thing. The thing. What was her name? Would they name her Sarah?
Oh,
Was it Sarah?
I don't remember.
Oh, I'm forgetting. I feel bad now.
We'll
Sarah
look it
seems
up.
right.
Well, she was a girl, at least, so we know that. Well, guys, keep the conversation going on Twitter. You can tweet us at AfterBuzz TV, and you can also go to iTunes, rate, comment, tell a friend, and also just leave us your comments. We do read them and appreciate them. You can keep the conversation going with myself at Paige Sullivan.
And you can find me at the Tiona Hobson.
And I am at Kate Aquillano.
Until next time in 2 weeks, we will see you guys then.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.